A crash in Gorham that sent a vehicle into a pond yesterday left a woman dead and 4 others injured. It happened around 5 p.m. on Brackett Road. Gorham police say a van wound up upside down and fully submerged in a pond after hitting an SUV. They say the driver of the van, 34-year-old Mohammed Obaid of Westbrook, was able to get out of the vehicle, but 2 passengers were trapped inside. Police said today one of the passengers, 68-year-old Joyce Provencher of Westbrook, died of her injuries. The other passenger remained in serious condition. Officials say Obaid, along with the driver and passenger in the SUV, were taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Authorities continue to investigate the cause of the crash.